Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Furkan, a product designer working in London, and in this video I'm going to talk about my journey into product design without getting a design degree. So throwback to 2015, at school I was in sixth form at the time, at my final year studying A-levels, and at this time you're looking to see what you want to do next, and the most traditional approach is to go to university full-time. So I was looking to apply for a computer science with business degree. I knew I loved computing and business at school, so I applied to two universities, which was Warwick University and King's College London, and I got two provisional offers, which was really awesome, and I was super fortunate at the time. So this meant that I had to just achieve the grades that the university have stated and I'll be able to go to university. Going into exam season, the pressure was set really high. Everyone was studying super hard to get the grades they needed for their respective universities. And I knew my exams were going super well, apart from when I sat this one economics exam. And that day I just was feeling super rough, and I could tell at the end of that exam that it just did not go too well. And I was thinking at the back of my mind, have I ruined my chances? So once the exam was done, that was it. There's nothing I could really change. So entering the summer of 2015. Exam season was all over. So to pass the time, I was doing a part-time job working at Asda, a supermarket in the UK, just to earn a bit of extra money and to pass the time waiting for results day. During the summer, I was talking to a few of my friends who were a year above me, and they didn't go to university full-time. They were talking about how they're trying this brand new scheme called degree apprenticeships at the time, and they were working at Ford, which was super close to where we lived. For me, it was a 15-minute walk from my house, and they were saying how they're getting a degree and getting paid to work at the same time, and the degree's fully funded, which sounded unbelievable at the time. And they were doing an engineering degree. And I was super interested in IT, and I was saying how they offered IT degrees as well. So going home one day, I thought, let me just check this out and apply. But honestly, I really wanted to go to Warwick at the time, and I was like, let's just do this as a contingency and backup. A few weeks later, whilst working at Asda, I was on the shop floor and I got a phone call on my phone, and it was a recruiter that was working on behalf of Ford, and they said I got through to the next interview round for the Ford Apprenticeship scheme. At the time, I was super set on going to Warwick, and I wasn't too interested really of doing an interview, and I was super tired at the time, and I was like, I basically wasn't sure who it was, and I basically dropped a phone call, not knowing that basically I could have wasted the entire opportunity. But yeah, I hadn't had any of my results on I was just set on going to university at that time. So come results day, coming towards the end of August, I checked the UCAS website, which is a website you go to check your results and grades to see if you got into university. Unfortunately, at the time, I didn't get into Warwick University or King's. So inside, I was basically super disappointed and devastated. And I wasn't sure what to do next. I was so set on going to these universities, I didn't want to go to anywhere else, and I didn't really want to compromise. So I had to really just pull myself together and think of all the other options around me. At the time I was evaluating my options, not getting into my first choice university. I could apply to other universities, or I could look at the whole full degree apprenticeship route. The degree apprenticeship route was super enticing because you get a salary and you get 4 years experience and a fully funded degree, and the salary for someone that's so young at 18 is actually really high. It was around £20,000. So I decided to pursue the interview and go ahead with that route. So choosing the Ford IT degree apprenticeship program, I luckily passed the interview and I got through. So at the young age of 18, I was entering the workplace, having no idea really how the IT degree apprenticeship plan works out, but it was a super brand new scheme. But it did seem super enticing, being so close to where I live as well. Being a 15-minute walk, I decided to pursue this option. So entering the first 2 years of the IT degree apprenticeship at Ford, I was rotated into a software engineering role. I previously had some coding experience from sixth form, and I had the opportunity to work on dealership applications. So I was creating Java desktop applications, and then in my second year I had the opportunity to work on the front end of the applications. And this is where I really started to enjoy working on the front end and getting to basically change the look and feel of how the dealership applications worked. So these were global dealership applications, and I got to work with a North American team and a team in India, and it was my first exposure basically to working on a global team. And at the age of 18, it was like super eye-opening, working with like such a global team. So at the end of the 2 years in the IT degree apprenticeship program, you get to rotate to a new role. So you could do like a product management role, product designer role, or a software engineering role. And being an apprenticeship, I was like, let me check out other opportunities and try out new areas. And one of the opportunities was product design. So I knew I loved doing front end development, and I loved working on the front end of interfaces. So I tried the product design role. So starting my product design role at Ford, there was no in-house capability of product design at the time. Ford was only just scaling this up. So the plan was to send designers to agencies to get trained in-house. So at the time I was sent to agencies like Pivotal, Ogilvy, GTB, VML, and I was basically trained in-house for 2 years as a product designer. So this was totally different to going to university full-time or doing a boot camp. I was basically sent to an agency to get trained in-house working on real applications, so learning on the job. I was sent to the agency for nearly 2 years to get trained working on real Ford apps. So at the time I was working on Ford Pass and then Ford Pass Pro, and I had the opportunity to basically learn from senior designers on the job about the fundamentals of product design, and learning basically from having so many mentors around me. So for me, it was one of the best ways to learn, which is basically learning by doing the job and understanding fundamental principles. And it was a really great and lucky way of getting into product design, and I'm super fortunate. So not having any design degree backgrounds, I was being taught this in-house in the agency, and I was obviously doing further development outside by going to meetups and events, reading loads of books about this. And the lucky thing for me is like working on real apps is that you get to apply this knowledge the next day that you go back into work. You get to ask other designers about some concepts that you've read about last night, and it was a super awesome learning environment. Learning by doing is one of the best ways of learning for me, and it's honestly been such a great experience. Like working on Ford Pass, I actually had the experience of being able to actually push real design changes I was making to a global app to millions of users, which was awesome to see. I was able to conduct user interviews, like there's super high budgets on this app. So as a designer with such junior experience, it was so good and great to see, to be able to work on these apps real time and learn on the job. Working with the agency for 2 years, I got to work on the Ford Pass Pro app, gaining more experience as the weeks and months went on. I even had the opportunity on the Ford Pass Pro app to even lead certain sections as I gained more experience, which basically boosted my confidence. There's nothing more pleasing and engaging to do when you get to lead sections and see your work being pushed real time, and it's such a big confidence booster seeing this happen. So I finished the 4-year degree apprenticeship program, and I continued my role as a product designer, and I've been loving it ever since. And the degree apprenticeship is an awesome way of basically learning on the job and getting paid at the same time too. It can be game changing from a lifestyle perspective as well, because of salary that you earn and that you can save. It's a totally different path to going to university full-time, but I feel like it's such a beneficial way of learning. I feel like my main learnings is through actually gaining experience on the job. Studying it does has its advantages, but the main learnings have been on the job, and the degree apprenticeship has been invaluable. It's National Apprenticeship Week in the UK, so I hope if anyone's looking to do a degree apprenticeship, they can learn from my experience, and it's been awesome, and I highly recommend everyone to do one. There's so many companies around the UK that do them, and hopefully in other countries they have similar schemes as well. And I feel like it's such a great way to get into design by basically learning real time on the job. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is my journey into product design. I hope you learned something new. Comment down below how you got into product design. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.